say the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our September board meeting. Vicki, would you get us started with the roll call, please?
Councilman Audrey?
Here.
Councilwoman DeShane?
Here.
Councilman Hoyt?
Here.
And Councilman Lewandowski?
Here.
Supervisor McDaniel?
Here. All right, we have the review and approval of minutes from our town board meeting of August 14th, 2023. I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes from the town board meeting of August.
I'll second.
Okay, that's okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, reports and remittances from department heads and town committees. The supervisor financial reports were prepared through the end of August and given to board members and posted online.
I have a question.
Okay.
On the balance sheet for the highway department, it says due from other funds, highway fund DA, $591. What is that?
I don't know.
The month prior, it was $788, and then the month prior to that, there was no record of it prior to that. It's something new.
Can you speak to that, or?
I'd have to look.
Okay. I'm going to say that as well. I have to look at it and see. But I will get you an answer for that in the morning. DA fund and highway fund. Okay. And any other questions about the supervisor's reports? No? Okay. I would just like to take a minute for just to update the town on a few things that have gone on in the last month or so. Many of you probably realized when they repaved Route 2, they put lines down, but they didn't take, and over the winter they disappeared. So we spent most of the summer driving with no lines at all on Route 2. It was particularly bad by the park and then down by the quarries. I reached out to Senator Ashby's office, and he was kind enough to reach out to DOT, and we discovered that DOT had Rensselaer County on their paving list, but not for a while. But Jake Ashby, our senator, made sure that Grafton was put on first when Rensselaer County became a priority for DOT. So I just want to thank Senator Ashby for putting Grafton at the top of the list and helping us keep safe on our roads. It's particularly important by the park, obviously heavy traffic areas, and down by the quarries it was rough. So again, many thanks to Senator Ashby for that. The Purple Heart signs are in that Senator Jordan arranged for us to get at the end of her term. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're about this big. Andy and I took a run up to Fort Edward to pick them up a few weeks ago, and Jared is arranging with the highway crew to get them posted on the ends of town. Ours actually say Town of Grafton with a really nice Purple Heart insignia, so that was those will be coming along soon.
Different than other towns?
They're a little bit different. Ours, they're like post and kills, but ours actually say Town of Grafton.
Because I noticed the Steventown ones too.
Right.
They're all different. I
Right.
didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Thank
they look
you.
nice though, right?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
nice to recognize our veterans that way. And then the other thing is budget sheets. All department heads should have their budget sheets from me right now. These are the budget call letters, basically, to get budget requests together for the 2024 budget. Those are due back to the supervisor by September 20th. As I've done every year that I've been supervisor, I take whatever the department heads request and I build them into the tentative budget. I don't second guess the department heads. I let them tell us what they need, and then we decide as a board. So when the tentative budget appears, it's going to be exactly as the department heads have requested for funding. And then we'll let it go from there as we meet as a board and try to determine what's the best course to take. So again, those are due back to me by September 20th. I see that there are some edited or amended budget sheets circulating, but I would like the ones that the supervisor's office prepared as the budget officer. I would like those sheets to come back to me as opposed to the ones that have been edited and prior years crossed off and 2024 put on them. So
The board hasn't received a sheet yet.
you should have had them in your mail slots. everybody done?
No, I have not received any
I have not.
All right,
myself.
well, we'll take care of that. Okay. Okay. All right, okay, that's what I have from my desk. All right, the town clerk.
Okay, first I'd like to thank the highway department for the outstanding job with our signboard and getting it installed for me. I truly appreciate it. You guys did a great job. The
Great
rocks
job.
look amazing. I truly appreciate the effort and
Double
the
that.
sweat that you guys put into it. Thank you.
That's great.
Okay. Town clerk fees for the month was $302.50. Trash recycle brought in $2,805. Building permits brought in $456.25. Total revenue for the month was $4,458.05 after paying Ag and Markets, Environmental, UC, and New York State Department of Health. The check that went to the supervisor was $3,563.75.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the town clerk's report. I have a second.
I'll second it.
Councilman Bowdre,
Yes.
Councilman Shane,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Duncan.
Yes. Okay, the town highway superintendent.
Everything's in pretty good shape. We got the chip sealing done this month. A couple other towns that I gotta thank, Berlin, Post and Kill, Huzik, they all jumped right in and give us a hand. Our trucks, we've had a couple out helping Berlin, Post and Kill as well. And the shared services program works real good. We've been out ditching. There's a few roads with all these heavy rains that looking forward to getting them patched back up. Some roads are mint, other roads will be out as soon as we can. We're gonna fog seal probably tomorrow to finish up the paved roads that we chip sealed, which is just basically a coating that's sealing all the stone, keep the dust down, all that stuff. You know, the storm the other night that knocked all the power out. Huge thank you to the fire department. Nobody gives them guys nearly enough credit. They were right out there chasing National Grid around, cutting trees, make sure that the scene is safe, disco lights, everything. Lights for the National Grid guys and tree cutters. Like, the fire department never gets enough credit for that, and they sure as hell should. We were out too, but you know, it's then we finished up today, cleaning up whatever trees were down and get the ditches cleaned out, you know, because it always ends up, everything gets pushed in the ditch, and you got to get it out so that the roads, you know, doesn't plug the ditch up, whatever. But otherwise, it's pretty decent. Looking forward to doing a little bit of paving, and a couple of the plow trucks. We've been getting them ready for winter because I hate that word, but we all know the truth on the mountain. And other than that, yeah, we'll be out. We got a couple of roads we're gonna into the fall, cut the trees, the brush, and ditch them before winter, and then we all know what winter brings. So that's about it.
Thank you, Peter. And I would just like to say, yes, thanks for the highway crew for getting out the night of the storm, but then there was a lot of residual damage over the next few days after the storm. Jared tackled an awful lot of that himself, which was pretty dedicated, so I really appreciate that. A few trees down, I know he went by himself a few places. And of course, to the fire, it was his day off, yeah.
Jim was out there with me,
Yeah,
the fire
absolutely,
chief,
Jim
make no
was-
mistake. The
Right.
fire chief has been out all
Yep.
weekend.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for keeping us safe. Okay, the town assessor report. I don't think we have one.
I
Okay.
didn't see.
We don't have a report from the assessor. Okay. Buildings and code enforcement.
We have 38 building permits out year to date, and the planning board has one minor subdivision on J.H. Road.
Okay. All right. Two birds with one stone. Thank you, Tom. All right, the rescue squad. I see Captain Sullivan.
We had a whopping 19 calls this month, including some that were requests mutually to Petersburg, Post and Kill, Brunswick, North Greenbush, and Huzik Valley, believe it or not. So it's been an interesting month, and that's just kind of goes to show that it's not just this town. All towns are hurting. All towns have problems, and any help that we get is greatly appreciated. And thank you to the fire department as well, because they did awesome jobs.
All right, thank you, Catherine. Dog control officer.
Multiple calls for South Road, stray dogs running around. Most of the owners pick them up before they even respond.
Okay. All right, the library.
So the statistics for August were 771 books checked out, 307 ebooks were checked out. Google, we have 40 participants, patron visits, 481 adults, 65 children, 28 teens. Summer reading program finished up in August. I'll have those statistics next month. Zumba started tonight. We had 10 people signed up. Lego Club after school starts on September 25th.
Great. Okay, thank you. Do we have a report from the park or just their email of
Just
events?
the email is all I,
Okay. I would say check the park's website for events that are coming up. I know they have the Bark and Brew coming, I believe, this weekend. And they have many other events. All right, the Recreation Committee. I am going to ask Donna Baldwin to report.
Yeah, I can do that. The pickleball cornhole tournament that was scheduled for September 17th has been canceled due to lack of interest and enough teams to participate. Next event that's up is the Trunk and Treat, which will be held this year at the Grafton Lake State Park on Saturday, 10/28, from 1:30 to 4, with a rain date of Sunday, 10/29, same time. We'll have Trunk and Treats. We're in the process of sending out formal invites to the community organizations. I'm happy to report that I've gotten a pretty good response back so far from businesses that are going to participate. We're also going to include our older kids this year and have an apple and pumpkin pie baking contest, which has been received pretty well so far. I have a few folks that have entered already. We'll be having contests this year, best trunk, most creative costume, 3 different age groups. We'll have games with prizes and, of course, the best pie. So we're looking forward to it. It's coming together nicely.
What are the dates for that, Donna?
Saturday, 10/28, 1:30, Grafton Lake State Park, main parking lot.
Okay. All right, thank you. And Merrymakers? I don't see a representative here tonight, but they do have a trip coming up October 14th, which is a train ride to a bus ride out to just below Cooperstown, and then you get on the train and go up to Cooperstown and come back. So that sounds fun, and actually a bunch of us are signed up for it, so hopefully it's going to be a fun trip. And we thank them for the work in putting that together, for sure. Okay, under communications received this evening, we have a resignation from Jen Rogoski, the Recreation Committee chairperson. Hi Ingrid, I'm not sure how formal this needs to be. However, I'm writing to let you know I'm no longer able to be a part of the Grafton Town Recreation Committee. My main goal for volunteering was to make sure the town still had the annual picnic in June. As the rest of the year has gone on, I'm seeing that I am unable to give my full time and attention to helping the rest of the ladies plan future events, with my own personal events needing to be planned, i.e. my wedding and weddings that I am a part of. I thank the board for letting me be a part of what I could be, and I look forward to seeing what the group continues to put together. The ladies have agreed and have supported Donna Baldwin in leading the group and speaking to the board until a final decision is made on who will be chair. Many thanks, Jen Rogoski. So there is that. We've also received information from Peter Pearson regarding an event called Braver Angels, which is being held October 14th at Grafton School. This has been publicized in the Eastwick and a few other local newspapers. the title of the event is called Depolarizing from Within. And it's to find out what is within us that makes us have a problem dealing with those who might not think the way we think. And I think that's a nutshell expression of what's going to happen. And Mr. Pearson's anticipating an awful lot of people attending. It'll be larger than just the Grafton community, but this is a nationwide organization. He's very active in it, and I'd encourage anyone who is of a mind to see what we can do, if we can strike a balance between our disparate political beliefs. It might be a nice event. That's going to be at Roxborough Holdings. Tom? I don't have the times, but we can certainly get something up on the website and post around town. Peter does have some posters that are going to be going up. So there's that. Then we also have the annual request from the Historical Society to have their wine and cheese event on October 21st at the Senior Center. That's their major fundraising event that they do once a year. It's an awful lot of fun. I'd encourage everybody to go. When we get to the motions and resolutions portion of the meeting, we can put a motion up to allow the Historical Society to use the Everett Wager Senior Center that day. We also have a request for the use of the town park by Grafton Baptist Church for their Harvest Festival, and that is going to be, 1 second. That is going to be, she gave me the dates of, 1 second, technology, here we go. I was wondering if Grafton Baptist could use the Grafton Town Green on October 21st for our Harvest Fest and use it on October 27th if we needed a rain date. Thank you, Janine Ferguson. So I told her we'd be bringing that up tonight and then moving it to a motion when we get to that portion.
What time is that? That won't have anything to do with wine and cheese, right? The same date.
She has not set a time. It is the same date, but it shouldn't. I mean, the
Yeah,
wine and cheese is in
probably
the
during the
Senior
day.
Center. Yeah, it didn't conflict last year, so I'm sure they'll be able to work it out.
When did that request come in?
From Janine, she initially sent a text August 21st, which I didn't receive for whatever reason, but I was having some phone issues, and then she sent it yesterday at 11:48 a.m. Then we also received some information from our town justices in opposition to a Senate bill. And Councilman Lewandowski has actually taken that information and incorporated it into a resolution for us to consider tonight. I'm not sure if Justice Higgins is with us. I know Justice Higgins is with us tonight, but I'm not sure if you want to comment on that when the time comes to vote on it or add any insight to it.
I gave you all the talking points, but whatever you need.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Okay, I think that's it for communication. Anyone else receive anything? All right. Under new business, we have the 2024 budget meeting schedule. I want to throw it out to the board to see what availabilities you have to have our workshop meetings. The forms, as I said earlier, are all due back to me by September 20th. And then I anticipate having the tentative budget prepared that weekend and available to everyone the following Monday. So we can go from there after that to figure out when we want to schedule the hearings. Anyone have any suggestions?
Whatever works for you guys.
Okay, all right.
Let's get plans going from now on.
Now till November, great, okay, all right, good, we'll be done with that. Okay, all right, we'll discuss that as a board and of course make known when our budget workshops are going to be. Okay.
Do we want to set at least one now, you know, just because?
Sure, what do you think?
Well, October 11th is our board meeting, our regular board meeting at 7. So we could do a budget workshop at like 5:30 or 6 before it. So that way we can get
Before
through one and
meeting?
then we can kind of get a feel on what other dates we need and then in that meeting we can set the new dates.
I'm gonna go that long with it?
What was the date you said?
Our next
Nine.
meeting, unless we do it on the 4th or, you know, the first week of October, the problem is that our next board meeting's on the 11th, which is a Wednesday because of the holiday.
Oh, that's right.
So- that's why we gotta kind of pick at least one date now because of how far along we'll be. I prefer during the week, like evenings during the week.
Absolutely.
The 9th is a holiday, so.
What about the 27th of September, the Wednesday?
Oh, no.
I think, hold on. Problem with that is the town clerk has to give out the honor before October 5th. So we can't really, the clerk has to give the board the tentative budget, and the law says by October 5th. So if we do it prior to that, and she doesn't have it to us, she has the right to.
Yeah,
You want to do it on the 11th then?
she has the right to what?
She has a right to not give it to us till the 5th. So we can't really have the budget hearing prior to the 5th.
So the 11th at 5:30?
Yeah, but like, so that'd be like a half an hour before the meeting, because we always have to pay bills and all that, unless we try to come during the week to do that.
Right. It's
If we can get that out of
come
the
during the
way,
week.
it's gonna take more than a half an hour.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I agree with you.
You could do it earlier on the 11th.
Right. Yeah. 5 o'clock?
I'm okay with 5 o'clock.
Yeah. I would.
You okay,
Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah, I can probably make it here by then, by the time I
Oh, you
close
work.
up over
I
there.
forget.
I close at 4, I should be able to get here by 5.
Okay.
I may not shower and change, but I'll be there.
So that would be October 11th at 5, right? First.
There's nothing saying that if I did it before October 5th, then I can't hand it out, right?
Right, I just don't wanna, like, you never, like, if Ingrid runs into an issue with doing whatever she's doing, Ingrid has time and you have time in the law. I just don't wanna put anybody under undue pressure that might not need it.
So we'll go with
That's fine.
the 11th at 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Phil, do we have to vote on that?
You're scheduling a meeting.
Yeah. So-
I'd go ahead and do a vote.
Okay.
So we gotta run an act on it, right?
Can we do it under the motions and resolutions?
Either time.
Okay.
Whatever's good for you guys.
Okay. And then also under new business tonight, we have Highway Department approval of paving for Fox Hollow.
Yep, they're redoing, the county's redoing their roads. And we got a 4/10 of a mile stretch between, which is dirt right now, to get over to last year, the town of Hoosick paved. It's just one more stretch of road that we have a lot of trouble. It's a through road. We're trying to connect all these through roads in town. Next year, we got another through road we'd like to do. And they're right there, so we don't have to pay the trucking to bring the machines and all that stuff. So it only makes sense to do it and just get it done. We have the money, you know, so I'd just like to get it done. It's another half mile on the wish list of roads to get done in town.
And
You
when,
know, and it's based on traffic more than it is,
and when are they coming?
as soon as we get any approval.
No, I mean, when, you know, you said they're already paved
Oh,
over there?
yeah, this week they're coming
Okay.
to do the county road.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I have a meeting, so hopefully I can get an approval. That way there, I got a phone call, said, hey, we're gonna pave this. Do you guys have any interest in connecting the two? I said, absolutely, because we have a lot of trouble. There's a lot of traffic there. We have a lot of trouble with dust, potholes, and it's just a really far stretch away from town, so it takes a while to get there. So it only makes sense. And then if we can connect at least a lot of the high traffic roads in town over the next few years, every bit we get done is one more bit we get done. So it's easier to concentrate on the roads with less traffic if we don't have to concentrate on the roads with the high traffic, if you will. So I think it'll just save us a bunch of maintenance in the future. So that's why I want to do it.
All right, thank you.
All right, any other new business? No. All right, under old business, furnace issues / professional cleaning of the town hall. Vicki and I had talked about, and actually the meeting before last meeting, getting bids and finding out if we had an insurance deductible for cleaning the town hall. We'd had a blowback issue with our furnace and there was soot everywhere. So we would like to have it professionally cleaned. I started calling around to professional cleaners and they said until we got our furnace issue straightened out, we were throwing good money after that. So that is, that's where it stands with the cleaning. And we do have a small deductible. It's a $1,000 deductible to clean for any damages like that with our insurance policy. But then tonight we're moving to, in resolution, to change the furnace into a propane system, which is much cleaner. So that will be done as soon as we approve it tonight, or soon it'll be on Legenbauer's schedule as soon as we approve it tonight. And then when they get that done, we'll get the cleaners in. Sound copacetic? Okay, good.
Yes, I think.
Nice deep cleaning before winter. That'll be great. Okay, pickleball court striping. It hasn't happened yet, but we were going to have it in time for the tournament, but now we're not having the tournament, so
Yeah,
take it away, Jay.
they said they'd have it done before the tournament, and with all this rain, then there was hinging on the amount of people signing up for the pickleball. I said, well, all I really care is that you don't take a chance with turning a beautiful court, into, if it rained and the paint wasn't dried all the way, everybody here knows what that could look like. And they did a gorgeous job last year on it, and to get it done. So he said he could have it done before, was that next weekend, but now that it's canceled, I guess maybe they'll still get it done. Either way, it's on their schedule to get it done.
Okay. The annual ethics financial disclosures filings. Everybody up to speed?
We have finally received all of them.
All of them, okay. Okay, and in the future, hand them in to you, or
Just put them in our mailbox, or you can send them by email to
Right.
the Grafton Town Ethics Committee.
perfect, okay. All
Bless
right. Bless you. All right, great, that's good to hear everyone has complied. Good, thank you, John, for following up on that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well, it took them a long time to get it.
Okay. New York State Harassment and Discrimination Annual Training. This is something that every municipality or every business has to do and have on file, that their employees and appointees and elected officials have done annual training to comply with the law. We had a little bit of back and forth about where our law stood. We have a law that's in place. We adopted it with Resolution 34 of 2021, I believe it was. But it was all put together with Gervin and Ferlazzo at the end of 2020. So where we stand now, and you might have seen a few things on the agenda with it, is Governor Hochul has tweaked the law. She's made some changes to have a little bit more inclusion with the law. So we need to see how her new tweaks compare to the law we had in place.
Well, the training is a separate thing. We're supposed to do annual training, even though we can still work on the law. But for years, we've supposedly been required to do the annual training. So
And we've done it. We've got records of having done it every year. Not to interrupt you, but we do have records of having done it every year. People can submit, if they happen to get the training through other jobs, they can submit those forms, and those are acceptable for our purposes, for our filing. There are a few different ways to take it, to take the training though, in addition to doing it on your own. NYMER runs a class. They're actually running one tomorrow.
yeah.
But we're not set up to do that with the guys yet, with the highway crew yet. Those would be the gentlemen that would do it. But anyone can get on those websites and do them themselves. So we'll get that short out.
I was told other towns with the NYMER, they just sent it out to everyone, and whoever could do it would just log online, register, and do it.
That's how they set it up. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Excuse me, do you have the web address for that? Do you have the address for that website?
NYMER.org would be, NYMIR.org. And I can send you the link as well, John.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. I'll just make a note to do that.
If anybody goes to and just Googles, the training in New York City pulls one up. It takes you 45 minutes, and you can print out the certificate right there.
All right, also under old business, highway department again, fleet vehicle management.
So, when we started out updating all of our vehicles, with COVID, it got a little screwed up, but a 3-year plan with the pickups and the 1-ton size trucks, when the warranty's up, get rid of it. I went to Ithaca College for a bunch of training that the state provides, and they were they pushed 2 years, and it seemed like a lot, so I said, well, 3 years, but financially it makes sense, get rid of them. I mean, so far we haven't had any maintenance to do on them, other than the usual oil changes and set of tires. You know, you keep them out of warranty. We all know what these new vehicles probably cost to get things fixed. So the dealer, the tentative trade-in price they're giving us for one of the pickups, everything we paid for it 3 years ago, they're giving us our money back on that towards a new one. And the 550 size truck, I think it's $8,000 less than we paid for that truck. So pretty much we got to use them for 3 years for nothing, which I thought was a pretty fair deal. You keep them too long, they become worthless. You got maintenance in them. You know, you can't keep these things for 10 years and bless you. So I'd like to order 2 pickups and finance them. The municipality lease program has pretty decent finance rates. They tell me at school that the inflation rate is 8% on vehicles, but we've all seen what has happened in the last few years. So if we wait any longer, we're going to pay that much more versus just have payments on them. And so we got a 2011 to replace. That has coat hangers holding the exhaust up. You can imagine what a truck that old for the town looks like underneath, and we're just trying to keep it going. So that I would like to send to auction, trade the other 2 trucks in, and so basically I want to order 2 pickup trucks and a 550 size truck, which now the new model is an F600 instead of an F550. It was $500 difference in the 2, so that's that. That's why I got you guys numbers on that, so we can get those ordered, because they're proposing 6 months for the 600, 550 little 1-ton mason dump, and 5 months for the pickups. That's what their estimate is from the time we order it to the time we can get it. So not really sure. You know, nobody obviously can guarantee that, whether we get them in 3 months or spring or whatever, but you know, there should be 2024s, and financing them, we can afford it. It's not gonna change our budget hardly at all. So that's where I'm at.
So how much money is that?
The pickup is 60 plus a plow, which is 7. So that's each one. But do that minus the 38 they're giving us on trade for the pickup. The 550, 600, that is, this one from the dealer was 110, but the body's actually going to come from, and the plow from T&T, who were on Sourcewell, which they were $5,000 to $6,000 cheaper, phrase that, less expensive for a better box, and around $2,000 a piece cheaper for the plows. So really 3 snow plows is $6,000 less to go through T&T, and $5,000 to $6,000 less for the body to go through there versus going through the dealer. So, and we've had great luck with T&T before, and that's where an awful lot of municipalities go. So we've been dealing with them through the town of Grafton for years, and they've been really awesome to us. So it's pretty much where we're at is trade and get rid of all the old, and you know, we can afford the payments on the rest. And what we don't have, every bit of excess money which isn't a lot, but excess money we've had, I've been put in the unexpended fund so that we don't have to raise the budget and slam everybody sitting in this room, including myself, with some big payment because we're trying to update our fleet. So I've been kind of just banking money. That way when we want to go do this, we can, and it doesn't it doesn't hit everybody's pocket. So that's my plan.
Thank you.
That's all I got on that.
Okay, all right, thanks, Jared. Any other old business? Okay, we're on to public comment, privilege of the floor. Reminder that public comment is limited to 5 minutes per person. The public comment portion of the meeting is a privilege. All comments and statements shall be directed to the town board. Please refrain from any personal attacks, name calling, or derogatory public comments toward individuals. Councilman Bowden is our timekeeper, ready to go. Okay. Nancy LaRock.
I just want to thank Jared for trying to fix the road down, the county road and the Palace Road. We had problems for the past 4 or 5 years, water coming across the road, freezing, going down into the creek, making it very slippery and heading to the creek. And he dug some stuff up, so we're hoping that that works. If not, I'll let him know. But thank you, Jared.
All right, thank you, Nancy. All right, anyone else from the floor tonight? Really? Oh, a tie. A tie. Okay, Donna Baldwin, ladies first.
I just have a question, general question for the board. I'd like to know if there's concerns with the trunk and treat event that you've been made aware of. I received a private message from a council person on Thursday inquiring as to why I had tentatively posted a save the date on the town of Petersburg page. And my response to you all here publicly is we have children that live in the town of Petersburg. We established this during the summer camp situation, so I felt it was appropriate to include the town of Petersburg folk. There's minimal cost for this event based on the fact that the trunks, the folks that participate provide their own candy. So I'd like to know what the concern is. If you've talked about it as a board, or if this was just one town council person outreaching me privately again on my social media.
The only concern I personally have is I don't know how well it would be at the state park. I thought maybe it should be at the school, maybe in our, down by the gazebo, down around there, or at the VFW, where people can see it, go by, go in and out of it.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay, so as far as having it at the town park, we talked about that as a committee, and it's a safety concern because you're going to have children going from car to car to car. 1:30 in the afternoon. It's a public road.
Yeah.
I don't want kids in the road. The state
So
park offers.
The VFW or the school.
The VFW is kind of small. We have been cramped there in the past. This is a bigger event. The state park has graciously offered for hosting of the event in the main parking lot, so the kids can run around freely without worrying about main thoroughfares. It affords the opportunity for more people to participate, and the state park is actually going to participate as well. They're providing a trunk. So that was the reason for changing the venue. It wasn't a decision I made personally. It was a committee decision. So I just want to put that out there. As far as the pie contest, there were some comments on Facebook about the pie contest. We're trying to include all of our population, and we're trying to include both youth and our senior population, or maybe our mid-senior population, in the absence of the youth committee. And I can tell you, it's been very well received. I'm getting calls and messages with people signing up.
Good.
So,
That's good. Now, I had 3 people last week get a hold of me on the phone, at my door, at the post office, saying something that you guys were asking the seniors to donate
Absolutely,
candy?
absolutely
I am
not.
against that.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
We are not
I called and
asking
asked, I don't know
anyone,
how rumors are, but I
we are
just-
not asking anyone for any donations. The contact I had with the senior center was asking them if any of their participants would want to participate by baking it up high and thereby being included in our town event, even though it's
Well, I
on a
guess they're gonna
Saturday.
put a vote to it on Thursday to see what they do.
Okay.
That's last I.
So any other concerns that we can clear up here now so people aren't bashing me, us, them on Facebook?
I don't go on Facebook, so I don't see any of that stuff, so.
Well, it was pretty
Do you have any
negative.
objections to having it at Roxborough? Tom has been gracious enough to offer.
I've already
that up
filled
there.
out the paperwork for the state park. I have filled out the permit and I have gotten the insurance rider. So it's already taken care of. And again, group decision. It wasn't my decision. It was a committee decision.
I have a concern about the state park. Last year, the state park had their own trick or treating and had over 1,000 kids show up.
It's not a public event, Frank.
Right, but that's something to be concerning
You
of,
don't
is
think they'll
that,
come over?
right.
When your candy's gone, your candy's gone.
Now
It's a Saturday.
It's a different day. The state park is doing theirs on the 14th. They're doing their trunk or treat.
So-
Their trail hike, whatever they call it, they're doing it on the 14th because it's the same day the library's doing clips.
So this is basically for the town,
Yes.
so it's not opened up for the general.
No,
That-
no.
I had a concern about that when I
Right.
first heard that.
Right.
Mhm.
So, I don't have a problem with
So
that.
they aren't charging at that
That
point?
you have
Oh,
other
no.
people coming in.
No charge, and they have waived the permit fee that they would normally charge. So it's at no cost. It's a
So where
safer,
exactly are you setting up then?
up by their main
Welcome center.
welcome
By the
center.
By the welcome center at the end, yeah?
Yep.
And I had a few people reach out to me saying, why is Grafton events being posted on the Petersburg town site that's not open to Petersburg residents? And that
Because
encourages-
children from Grafton have Petersburg mailing addresses, Councilman, like we established during the summer program.
Right, but you stated you wanted to know, like, I had a few people that were concerned that it looked like we were opening up to other towns and that there could be other towns coming in because they're seeing it on different sites.
So how would you like me to post it so it meets with your approval, I guess? And do you want to share that you're the one that private messaged me and voiced concerns about Petersburg
Right,
children
I
coming?
messaged you just like you used your personal Facebook page to promote the thing. So I don't see any issue with asking a question on Facebook if you're posting your personal account on Facebook.
Asking this, and you please, so everyone is privy to the questions you're asking, because personally, I took it as if you were, again, outreaching me, as you have done in the past, 2 years ago, when I asked you not to contact me anymore over public business. There's a way to do it. You have an email, I have an email, I've been emailing the supervisor back and forth. That's the way professional business is handled.
And the committee was not against other kids coming from other towns.
Well,
So, I mean, the kids are in our school
she's
district.
right with the Petersburg issue with addresses and children. We've always
Right, but all the
worked
kids
that
are
out.
friends with each other. I mean, they're all gonna have their friends coming. I mean, there's no way we're gonna say, well, are you a Grafton kid, or are you a Petersburg kid? No, all kids in our community are welcome.
And furthermore, your Easter event that you promoted was promoted on the Rensselaer County Entertainment page. So,
Your argument fails. Well, how hard is it to just say it's for Grafton residents only?
Why would we?
You would hardly get
Why?
anything.
Does it cost?
Every place that posts anything down there, the contaminated waste, they list what towns can and can't go there.
We're not wasting.
No kidding.
Why does, let's elevate the tone a little.
All right, that's
Having a fun
time.
event for the kids.
That's time.
Correct.
10/28 or 10/29.
And a pie contest for the adult kids.
Okay.
Do you have any kind of flyer that I
Are you
can get a
gonna-
hold of that I can post on our website and our Facebook page?
It'll be forthcoming.
Okay.
And with that being said, I neglected to tell you during the report that there has also been another resignation received.
We're at 9 minutes here already, so you're way over your 5 minutes.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Is there any way you're gonna be able to get like a head count, rough idea of?
There
how
was
many
another
people? There's no way
resignation
to do
received
that.
from a recreation
Well,
committee
yes.
member.
Steve, we're talking, it's
It's
okay,
something
it's
about the-
okay. Well, it's
Then
okay.
why are we bothering here? We're saying 5 minute limit. We're at 10 minutes here.
Okay,
Councilman
Supervisor
Beaudry.
Dunn, I want to make you aware that there was a second resignation received from the Recreation Committee, Heather Hasbrook.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Has
didn't
she
receive
submitted
that.
anything to the town?
I know, I haven't seen.
She submitted it to the rest of the committee.
Right, it has to come through the town.
Has to go through the town.
She's staying on to the.
For an informal
Correct.
volunteer committee, I just can't believe. When
She
we
will
wanna do
be
a fun
staying
event
on
for kids.
through the October events.
Okay.
Because she's very much looking forward to participating with the event.
All right, so again, the trunk or treat is at the Grafton Lake State Park, 10/28, rain date 10/29. There'll be flyers coming out.
Yes.
Have fun, yeah, okay, good. All right, Kathy Swoda.
Why exactly does the town board have to approve someone that wants to give their time and volunteer for anything all over? I mean, people can't get people to volunteer, but you're gonna make someone jump through hoops because they want to give their time, and especially something that's recreation, mostly for kids? That's ridiculous. What do you have to approve? I mean, do we need fingerprints? See if we're, I mean, what are you doing that it has to be approved? Can I have an answer?
Yeah, it's a committee, so just like any other committee, if someone wants to be on the committee, the board would have to approve it. If it's someone looking to just volunteer, that's different. But if people are looking to be on the committee is something that would be approved by the board, just like any other committee in town.
So I guess the answer is that people don't have to be on the committee, that they just offer to give themselves and their time to do a good deed.
Right, yeah, if they want to just volunteer and be a part of something, they can
And
do
what's the
that.
criteria for you people to say they can or cannot be on the committee?
It's a board decision, we would talk about it, and the recreation
There's no
committee, there
criteria in
hasn't
place,
been
Kathy.
anybody
There's no criteria
that,
in place.
So then why
There-
bother?
there hasn't been anyone that has been turned down as of this point for the recreation committee.
It shows that
Went from 3
when
to 6
someone's on
though,
the
and I think
committee,
that's crazy.
it shows a certain commitment to the community. And we would enjoy working with you and sharing ideas together. And that's basically it. We're not drilling people on who they are or what they're doing. They want to give something back to the town through a recreational committee, which is all wonderful for all the things that we're trying to do in town, bringing people together. It's an official way to show that we have people who want to volunteer, who want to build community and do positive things.
Well
And
said.
so that's kind of where we're at. That's where I'm at with that. And I think, the people who give something back to the town is just a great way to say thank you and acknowledge you in a committee or on a report.
But isn't there, and I could be totally wrong, isn't there some liability with the town? The town is hosting, the town recreation committee is hosting this event. A kid falls at the state park and breaks their leg. Or in the village park and breaks their leg. Isn't that where we kind of need to cover ourselves and?
That's why there's a liability insurance
Right,
voucher.
we're covered, we're covered.
It's
I get that,
submitted.
but,
But as a committee
We're
member,
covered
they
when-
represent the town.
right, so,
Pretty much.
so they're not gonna go sue Donna Baldwin if they break their leg. They're coming after the town of
And we're
Grafton.
covered. And we're
I
covered
get
for
that
this.
we're covered, but
She
I think
mentioned
that's where
We
the
have to
formality
be-
comes from.
Right.
Right.
Thank you, Vicki Rose.
That could happen at any
Can I
event.
ask a question?
Is Kathy done with her time? Are you done, Kathy? You have 2 more minutes. All right, okay. All right, yes, hands down.
This is on this, it's not my 5 minutes, but it's just a question I'd like to ask. Do you approve who is on the rescue squad committee? Do you approve who's on the library board? There's so many committees, and the merit makers, do you approve who's on that?
All 3 are separate organizations.
Yeah.
Recreation is not a separate organization, it's part of the town.
Merit
So it's
makers?
Mary Makers.
The Merit Makers is not part of the town, they're a private organization. Just
But
like
you
the
fund
fire
them.
Do
department.
you put them through the ringer to who they get to choose? It just seems like you're
There's-
picking on the rec committee, really.
The rec committee was created by the board. The board's not picking on anyone.
It
We're
doesn't
just
appear that
asking questions and trying to represent the people. When people have concerns and want answers, we ask the questions.
Well, moving forward, I would appreciate it if you have questions or concerns, that you go about asking the questions or stating your concerns in a proper professional manner. Jody indicated she had some concerns, a couple people came to her, whatever. She had incorrect information, yet nobody outreached the committee for clarification. Mr. Beaudry's wife had a laundry list of things to say about me and the committee and everything else. Again, not factual information. If you have questions or concerns, rather than listen to chatter, come to the source. There's 3 of us, 4 of us now on the committee. Come to the source and ask the information, and we will be more than happy to discuss it with you or share our thoughts or our information, as I am trying to do here this evening.
That's
Thank
exactly
you.
what I tried doing with you about the concern I got.
But you
And then-
did it personally yourself without your committee and the town supervisor knowing you were contacting me. And you insinuated I was inviting children from Petersburg, and I shouldn't be doing that.
It sounds to me as though we ought to invite Mr. Pearson and his Braver Angels.
I know, I was just thinking, I know. Thank you. Good point. Did you have more about?
Yeah, I just wanted
Do you
to
want to
touch
start?
on that.
Fine, okay.
But this is about, I want to just thank Jared and your crew for all the highway work you do, and Jared, your reports. Okay, whatever. And I'd like to thank, yeah. I really, in my heart, want to thank Mr. Boyer because he does so much for this town that people don't know. We just need you. Thank you. The last thing I'd like to ask is, I was going through the minutes and some of the resolutions are on there, but they're not clear. As like when you do them here, it's a full page, paragraph, whatever. But then when you go in the minutes, it'll say, if you look at March's, for example, March 13th meeting, there was quite a few resolutions. I just would ask that you could put a link. If you don't want, I understand it'll take up pages if you have 5 or 6 resolutions and you don't want to put them all out there. So you shorten it in a sentence, but sometimes that doesn't tell us, like one of them was keys for the back room. What about the keys to the back room? Resolution 40, all it said was supervisor's laptop. Well, are you bleaching it, or are you looking at it, or what about the supervisor's laptop? It doesn't tell the resident what that resolution really was.
If I have a resolution, I try to post it with our agenda. If I don't have it, yeah, I'm as in the dark as you guys
And so
are.
maybe somebody, and I'm not blaming you, or I'm just saying to the people that go on and look at things, you could even copy it and put a link so that it wouldn't take up all your space.
Right, but if I don't have the resolution to post at that time with the agenda, I don't have a resolution, I
No,
can't
she's
leave
saying
it.
after.
Oh, afterwards?
Your minutes about the minutes.
Yeah, on the website,
Nope, I got what you're saying.
okay?
I'm
Like a
actually-
link if you didn't want to.
Right, I'm actually working on a resolution page
Yeah.
that I haven't got totally
Right,
set
so
up.
then you could say Resolution 40 was
Right, and
this
then
meeting.
you could click on it and then just go
Yep,
to that
we could print
resolution.
it out. So
I am
that's-
working on it,
Okay.
I'm
thank
sorry,
you.
I misunderstood what you were asking.
Yeah, that's all I had, was just that it's hard to get them. And when they were passed and, you know, actually I did want to ask why, and this is because I honestly don't know, like there was a resolution opposing the New York State ban on gas stoves, like that Governor Hochul wanted to, what does that mean? How can we oppose something, don't they trump us? Are you just
I can
making
jump
it
on
known
that.
that you don't like it and that's just a resolution? Or?
Well, a lot of other towns in Rensselaer County did the same resolution. When we do look at things that Hochul or different government people are doing that we don't agree with, that we think could hurt the town, us as a board can pass a resolution, which then goes to those elected officials and just different elected officials, and it shows them that we stand together, that we are against what they're proposing. And if enough towns do that, that can help sway it. I think everybody in Grafton can agree that you shouldn't be forced to do electric stoves. You know, gas stoves is like, or even wood burning stoves, they want to do away with that.
Right.
Like that's gonna crush people in Grafton. So we do these things so that way the states know that why we're against it, and they're hearing from their constituents, they're hearing from a town saying this needs to stop. It's just like Your Honor Higgins brought us this thing where they want to make it so if you're going to be a judge in a small town, you have to have a law degree. Like, so it would disqualify Frank from being able to run for judge. Like, that's something for us to decide as people who we want in there. Not limited to the maybe one or two lawyers that we now have in the town that probably wouldn't even want to run, or if they did, we don't have anyone to run against them. It's just laws that are being put out there that might not be in the best interest for our town, that we work, come together, vote, so that way we can send it out to try to influence everything.
And so when something's already like the day of prayer, and you brought it up and wanted to make Grafton acknowledge something that's already a national day of prayer, why do you do that? I don't understand.
That's called, what's the saying, Phil?
Well, you have a national day of prayer, and then each municipality usually
That's
does a
fine.
resolution saying we support that too here in Grafton. You're just saying we agree with that. That's a good thing.
Right, well, a lot of towns do
Just
that.
wondering. I'm just wondering.
Anyone else from the floor tonight?
Just
Yes. Yes,
a
sir.
quick Rob update. Is there actually a formal avenue for towns and municipalities to get their information to, you know, a higher power in the state? And I mean, is there a formal process, and do they have a committee that listens to all those opinions from towns, so that it really does go eventually upstream to elected officials?
This is the formal process. By passing a resolution and then the clerk mails it out to all the higher elected officials, they get mailed directly to them.
Okay.
Or email dependent. So that's the proper way to do things. The town boards they don't really do anything unless it's a motion or a resolution. So once we do a resolution, that's us giving the authority to act to let them know that we are not in agreement with what we're doing. If it falls on deaf ears, it does, but we hope that enough towns do stuff like that, it can help change people's opinions.
All right, Mr. Buckley.
Madam Supervisor, my first question is to the board and perhaps maybe Mr. Oliver from the Ethics Board. Any return from a response from the district attorney on you guys movement to move forward with your accusations against the town supervisor. Maybe the town attorney could maybe shed a little light on that.
I haven't heard a word from the district attorney's office.
Okay, Madam Town Clerk, could you shed any light on that?
I haven't got anything.
And Mr. Oliver, could you do the same?
I am not, we don't speak.
Okay, so based upon that, where do you guys think this is going? And you had filed it on a certain date, was there an expectation? Normally at some point we get some sort of resolution. Seems like, this was just put out there just to create, nonsense in my opinion. So I must assume that that's what it's become. I also want to point out we had talked about, Mr. Lewandowski, you were a big fan of transparency. I'm continuing to wonder why our planning board meetings are not also being videoed, and what role this board's going to play to effectuate that for the resident.
Us as a board have not talked about.
Well, it's been brought up many times, we just don't act on these things. So this is one of those things we kick the can down the road, and yet you were a big fan of transparency and bringing government to the people.
And I
So
still
I'm
am a
wondering
big
when
fan of
that's going to happen.
transparency.
I'm sorry?
I said I am a big fan of transparency.
So at what point do you think we should include the planning board meetings also online, and that this board should act and make a motion, resolution to make that happen? And let's task the town clerk with doing that, which is also her function.
I don't think tasking the clerk
Well, she does
to
it now,
do that
the town
would,
clerk.
might be the best course of action. I think it's something that the board would have to discuss and figure out. And to state that the thing that was done with the ethics was nonsense, I do not believe any of that was
Well, I think
nonsense.
it's become that because we've heard nothing. So it kind of was like.
Right, but that's out of our ball.
We create the idea that there's a problem, but yet nothing happens and we get no results back. The three of you all admitted that you got nothing back. So I must assume that.
Nothing's been created. An investigation was done by the ethics board. We were advised by lawyers on what we should do.
I understand the process, sir, but I'm asking for the results of that process.
Well, you just seem confused, and I'm just trying to help you out.
I'm very specific.
So the district attorney's office, we don't have any control over, so it's, once we hear back from them, I'm sure the residents would know, but until then, it's a waiting game because we did everything we legally can and should do.
So when was that filed? Could you tell me when that was filed with the district attorney's office?
I can't give you a specific date, I'd have to look it up.
Well, it was presented in October. You got, it was brought up in October, you guys moved forward it, and it was talked about in November, and then you guys acted on it in December. Okay, just to refresh your memory. Okay, so here we're approaching that 1 year mark. Now usually that would happen within a year, and we're approaching that. So I don't think it's out of line for me to ask the board, Mr. Oliver and the town clerk, if there's been any response.
Well, which is a very good question. I'm just saying that it's not nonsense.
Okay.
And that if you have questions with the district attorney,
No, I'm not
maybe if you
gonna
give her a ring
I'm
and
gonna
she
ask
might
the
be able to
town
help you.
board that presented this to the district attorney. I think I'm in the right pew, sir, in the right church. So, okay, moving on. Planning board minutes. Are we gonna move forward on that? Email problems. We still don't have any. The town clerk has two email addresses, one for the dog officer and one for the town clerk. But yet, Mr. Rikuski still does not have an email. Now, I find it strange that the ethics board could ask for everyone to turn in their disclosures to the ethics board, but yet, certain people in the town don't have an email. You don't find that strange? No? You don't find that strange? We talked about how other people don't have emails, but yet the dog officer and the town clerk, or actually two people, had two emails. So we've never found, we continue not to solve the problems with the emails, which we don't have. Tom doesn't have an email, right? He's been here 24 years. He made that very clear a couple months ago. But he still doesn't have an email.
I'm pretty sure there's an email that I sent you that had Tom's email, and when
Really?
asked, yes.
Well, that's funny because I asked for all Tom's emails and I never got them. So that tells me that
His
he
email
does have an
address. You asked me for his address.
That's right.
Right.
And you never gave me his email address.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Because I was told that he didn't have an email. And as a matter of fact, that's actually been the case for a long time. Tom doesn't have an email because he doesn't know how to use it. Right? That's what you guys said. He doesn't have an email.
I don't know what they told you.
Well, I know what they said. And that's why I never got the emails. Remember, I did a FOIL and never got emails. And you guys went even so far in February when I tried to appeal this. You all voted in favor of removing me because you didn't like the way I was saying it. But the fact of the matter is I did a FOIL, I did the email process, I even did the appeal process, and you guys didn't give me nothing. You gave me nothing.
David, you're at time right now.
That's
5
time. I know,
minutes.
but everybody else
I would like
spoke.
can I just go back to the point you were making about taping meetings and transparency? Every single time this board meets for whatever reason, I think we should tape it. I absolutely think we should have it on tape. We didn't tape budget workshops last year. I think that's a huge disservice. So I'm moving that every single time we meet as a board, we have it available in under digital form. So that I would just like to.
No, again, but it's just, so the unfortunate part is it has to be brought up every 3 months to remind everyone. It never turns up in the old business. And yet this is why these issues keep coming up and get regurgitated, okay?
Right,
So we're failing to do that, and that's what I'm talking about.
I'm just going to state that I think the code enforcement officer does a good job. He's been here for a long time. He doesn't use it, from what I understand, he doesn't use an email for town business. That if people need to send an email in, they would send it to the clerk's office.
But that's not his secretary, and that's my whole point, okay? She's ours, not his, okay? Our town supervisor used to have a secretary. You guys collectively removed that. That's my point. Why would we remove the town supervisor's secretary, but yet make Vicky town secretary? With that just being Grafton and upfront country, that's asinine, folks. That's asinine. It makes no sense. It shows vindictiveness, and now you're using the town clerk.
Okay.
It's truth. It's okay. Truth can be told here.
Yeah, it can be, just when you take things out of context.
But you got 5 minutes.
Right, but everyone else can talk for 9, but I only get 4.5. I yield back to Flora. I think I'm correct. I think everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. Real quick, while we're talking about it, the Ethics Board is well aware that we had a sitting town clerk who appointed her deputy, and it's her sister. And yet, you look at me like I'm a deer in the headlights. This is unethical. I'm sorry. It's unethical.
That's your interpretation.
No,
You're
that's
not
not
qualified to make that interpretation.
I am qualified because I read the
And you're a
ethics.
legend in your own mind.
Yeah.
All right, let's raise the tone. Let's raise the tone a little bit. Thank you, Mr. Alden.
Nonsense.
No, it's not nonsense.
Yes, it is.
Okay, let's not, please.
The Ethics Board is ineffective and picks and
Okay,
chooses.
that's good.
You've had your time.
Yep. It's like the country buffet.
It was great to see you, Dave.
All right, well, that's not helpful.
All right, so you got 2 more people.
All right, yes.
Just a quick question. Back, 2-3 months ago, we had an emergency meeting because there was problems with the furnace, and it was a recommendation, and Vicki was supposed to send out bids for a gas furnace. Okay? Whatever happened to that? It was supposedly
It's on for tonight. the propane.
Yeah, I know, but there's 3 months.
Right, emergency, I know. I get it.
And I'm saying, what was the emergency back then if we had to wait 3 months to put it on tonight?
I don't know. I didn't.
We didn't use the furnace much over the summer.
It was actually in March.
It was March. Thank you, Donna.
We were trying to get 3 quotes. We weren't able to get 3 quotes, so we have 1 quote, so that's why we're going with it now before the weather changes.
Excuses.
Anyone else from the floor tonight?
That's the question that is a town clerk. When you guys vote on laws like we oppose banning wood stoves, you guys vote on that? Where does the town residents of Grafton get a voice in that?
We don't.
Right.
By electing us.
Got the ballot on.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that I agree, just because I elected you, doesn't mean I agree with everything you agree with.
Right, no one will.
Right,
Everybody-
but I'm saying, you saying that the town of Grafton wants to, and I'm just picking wood stoves because it's a simple one. Wood stoves, do you know if the town of Grafton opposes wood stoves? Or that law banning them? Do you honestly know? Or are you just voting as a town board saying, yeah, we don't really?
It's like that in every arm of government.
No, I understand.
I mean, we don't
I'm
get a
just
say
asking.
about what the Senate decides our life is gonna be.
Right, and I get you, but I'm just asking, because that's one thing that just sticks in my craw.
Right, Rensselaer County did almost the same resolution, and their elected officials, when we're elected to office, it's our job to try to best represent the people that we can. And taking an honest look at Grafton, I don't see many residents that would be okay with only being able to choose electric stoves with the type of town and rural area that we live in.
I get what you're saying, but it's just, I don't know.
Vicky, you do send when those batch resolutions
There
come
was
up
a
like
couple of them that got sent to like senators and.
You forward them on,
Yes.
or
A couple
whatever.
or
The ones that required the law. You know, the one that made National Prayer Day, they didn't go to the government, but the ones that required,
Right.
that were opposing the government, they go to our senators or whoever they
Thank
go
you.
to.
Great. Anyone else from the floor tonight? Ann Calabro, yes.
I have a couple things. One to go along with Dave's comment about the planning board. The planning board minutes are never up to date. So they're usually 2 or 3 months behind, which is not optimal because you go to look up and see what's going on in town and you really can't tell because the minutes aren't there. So if you guys could maybe nudge them a little bit to be more on time, that would be lovely. There were no resolutions in the packet, so people are coming in and saying, okay, we're voting on resolutions, but there's nothing to look at. I wanted to talk about the library. I thought they did a great job with the book contest. They had a lot of raffle bags set up and people got to put tickets in and win things. And I very unexpectedly won something, and it was a great surprise for me and my son. And I only really read 2 books over the summer. So I just want to encourage everybody that if you read anything, go ahead and put your name in the contest. You might win something awesome. What else? I had something else I wanted to say. Oh, Vicky, do I have a result yet on the emails that I've asked for from Supervisor Gundrum on Mr. Lewandowski's emails to and from her and from among the other emails that I've asked for?
She has said that she has them together. I have not received them yet, and then we will work on redacting what needs to be redacted, but we are moving forward.
Okay, because I've heard it was the 28th, and I haven't heard anything.
It took me a minute to get mine together. There was, that request specified emails from all board members. Am I the only one that hasn't turned them in yet?
Huh?
The email from Ann requested emails back and forth from all board members.
Your emails,
Just mine?
right?
The way I read it, it was just mine with Councilman Lewandowski.
No, I asked for anything that you got from anyone to and from any of the other board members and the lawyer.
Huh.
It exists.
My homework's only half done. Because I didn't interpret it that. I thought you were looking for everyone else's email, all the council people's emails back. You know what I mean? Between everybody.
Right. Well, because I'm pretty sure that a couple people don't use their email.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm not sure about that, but this, I have yours prepared, 2020 through 2023. So so I've got to hand them to Vicki and hopefully Attorney Danaher can assist in the redacting. But I apologize for taking that long to get them together because
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while, yeah, so, all right. And I'll give them to them right after the meeting. Anything else? No? You're good?
I think that's it.
Okay. All right, anyone else from the floor? Got some lengthy resolutions to read through, so no? Okay. All right, thank you everyone tonight for your comments. All right, moving on.
I did remember.
Oh, you have to.
If I knew I had it. If anyone wants to find out more about Braver Angels, you just go to braverangels.org and you can read up on it before the presentation.
Braver, that's Mr. Pearson's event,
Yes.
October 14th at the school. Okay, braverangels.com. you said it
.org.
is? .org. Braverangels.org. Okay. And I have a question because she won a prize for reading a book. Is that open to everybody, all
It was
kids?
just for
or
the summer reading program.
is it just for Grafton kids or is it open to anybody who frequents the library?
anybody that frequents the library.
Nice, very nice to be inclusive right now. Very good. Okay.
And it
Thank you.
was strictly for the summer reading program, which started in June,
Mhm.
went to the end of August. So for every adult who read a book, they got a ticket, and we had about 25 prizes that were all donated.
Right.
And then the kids, for every 15 minutes they read, they also got a ticket.
Right.
And it was separate children's prizes. So,
Nice.
and they've all been distributed.
Got it.
Is that just books that you can go to the library? Or
Any
all
book you
the
read, any book you read.
I read a lot of books.
And Run for the Roses went very well, just to kudos for that. So thank you for everything you do every year for that.
Thank you.
It's always a blast to shoot the starter pistol and watch everybody go. So thank you. All right, moving on then, if there's nothing else from the floor? No? Okay. All right, under motions and resolutions, we have to wait for Councilman Lewandowski to come back, but we can talk about it. We've got to make a motion to have the first budget hearing October 11th at 5 p.m. Shall we wait for Frank to come back, or shall we just go ahead and move through these?
I'd go ahead and move.
Perfect. All right, I'd like to make a motion that our first budget workshop is October 11th at 5 p.m. May I have a second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Councilman Hoyt. Can we do all in favor for motions, Phil, or do you prefer a roll call?
I'd do a roll call.
Okay.
Councilman Bojek?
Yes.
Councilman DeShane?
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt?
Yes.
And Supervisor Dunn?
Yes. Okay. Then we have,
So yes, right?
how would we like to handle the highway paving and the truck purchases, Phil? Motion to accept?
Well, the highway paving, we spent some time on today. I can't talk to the truck thing because I don't know anything about it. But the highway paving, today we were able to verify that it does appear to be a piggyback on the county bid. The cost for the paving itself matches, in fact, it's $1 less than the county. I will defer to Jared on the escalation provision. You spoke to Mr. Peterson, the deputy engineer for the county, and he said that is appropriate.
Yes, absolutely, same as every other town has paid this year, because it's, what it really is just a polite term for a fuel surcharge because of the price of fuel. That's really just a politically correct term for fuel surcharge.
And has each of the board members gotten a copy of that bid by Valley Paving?
Yes.
Yes.
So you all have it. It's being presented to you tonight as an emergency. Earlier, Jared mentioned why it's an emergency. So you're asking them to move it tonight?
Right, they make us call an emergency. It's not life-changing events here. It's just they make it, the new terminology is considered emergency. So it's not life-changing, but yes.
Well, let's say you wait until next month.
Well, it'll be more.
Ah!
Oh, yeah.
No,
It's financial
done.
changing, yeah. And we'll have to pay the transportation costs as well to move the equipment in.
It's a motion and resolution.
It's a motion. After, if you pass it, it becomes an official resolution that'll be in the minutes. But it's a motion right now.
All right.
Jared, what's the cost on that?
Yes, that's it.
70,000, 73?
7380, 720.
Is that what it is? Okay. I got it there somewhere.
All right. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the proposal from Valley Paving in the amount of $73,887.20 for paving to be done on Fox Hollow. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councilman Beaudry.
Councilman Bojek?
Yes.
Councilman DeShane?
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt?
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski?
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn?
Yes. Okay, then we have a motion for the Historical Society to use.
Well, if I could, Madam Supervisor, I'm going to defer to you totally on
That's cool.
the trucks
Okay.
issue. Can it wait till next month, or does it have to be done?
It doesn't have to, I mean, they're 6 months out. Does it have to be done tonight?
Have they seen anything in writing on all these different costs?
Yes.
Yeah, I got everybody copies of
So
everything.
I haven't. So you guys,
And like the plow company and the body company, they're all on Sourcewell, which is.
Sourcewell is a
Yeah, I
consortium
mean-
that's approved for you guys without having to formally go out to bid. So it's really up to you and listening to your highway superintendent as to the timing, whether you move that forward. I don't know what the costs are, whether it's in his budget, any of that. That's
Well,
up to you.
it is because we can get max dollars for our trade-ins, which is the problem with, the only truck that really hurts us is we kept the 2011 too long, and now it's literally worthless. You know, it'll go to auction, we'll get a few $1,000. Anybody that wants to see it, please, after the meeting, it's inside the garage with lights, but get your tetanus shot before you So, you know, jokes aside,
Right.
yeah, we're just gonna finance it, and, you know, if we're short a little bit, like I said, I've been saving, it's in our unexpended funds, you
Yep.
put it in there so that we have it for later.
I
Yeah,
don't know
we've all
anything about it.
we've all seen what you've proposed, you've spoken about it, we understand what
Yeah,
you're.
I just want everybody to know that's where
Right,
we're coming from.
No,
that's all.
I'm just saying,
Yep,
we have everything.
okay,
You've expressed what is happening.
yep.
I've got 100% full confidence, as I'm sure the board does, in the decisions you make thus far. I don't think we need to wait, is what I'm saying. I think we can move forward with it tonight.
I would just spell out for the town clerk exactly what is happening, how much money is being spent. The trade-in allowance I heard was like 38,000.
For the hit one truck, yeah.
One truck trade-in allowance of 38,000. Each of the pickup trucks 60,000 plus 7,000 each pickup truck for the plow. And I forgot what you said about the 551 ton.
They're 60 for the trade against, the one is, I didn't do the total, it's around 105,000.
You guys, are you?
So I would gladly sit down with a calculator if we're worried about a couple $1,000. I would gladly, I have nothing to hide, it's right
Did you have it
here.
all for the motion?
I should have had that number prepared.
Basically, as long as the town clerk has the motion with all the costs and everything else and feels comfortable, then somebody makes that motion, somebody seconds it, you do a poll vote. Do you have all the numbers?
Yes, I have a copy of all of them.
Oh, she's got all the numbers.
What do you think, board? Kick it down the road or just get it over
I
with
come
tonight?
up and ask my questions, right, through.
The only concern I have is that's a lot of money and it wasn't on the agenda. You know, the townspeople didn't have a true opportunity to see that there's an agenda up there where we're spending, you know, 110 for this and was it 70,000 for the other, and you know, so that
He's been talking about it.
Right.
It has been mentioned.
it's just
not
it
like
wasn't on the agenda, and that's a lot of money. But that's just my personal concern. If it was on the agenda, I'd be all for it. But not being on the agenda makes it hard to.
Jared, if you wait another month, it just means that it'll be just another month further down the road that you'll get it. So right now, you're talking 6 months, right?
Pretty much, so
Okay.
that's tentatively.
September, so we're in September, October, November, December, January, February. So now if you wait until next month, it won't be in until March.
Yeah.
But the prices will go up.
And the prices might go up.
Maybe.
Well, how long
It's
is
just
the-
the thing,
how
it,
long-
the only advantage now is to get in on the early order for the 24s, because they didn't complete the orders for the 23s. But I'm not trying to push this because I have no agenda other than trying to make sure.
No, I totally understand.
I know, it's a good point, it's a valid
But
point.
don't forget, there's probably a strike.
Well, yeah, I know. That's why it's like, I hope we can get them.
The audience is for it.
Yeah, just conferring with the board in deference to Councilman Lewandowski's statement about had it not been on the agenda for this evening. We have been talking about it all the way through.
Yeah.
We understand Jared's game plan
Mhm.
with the fleet management of the highway patrol. It seems like the four of us are ready to go
Right.
tonight. Okay. Do a motion?
Do you want to read back to them the numbers?
I don't have all the numbers.
Well, I've got that the town is purchasing 2 pickup trucks at a cost of $60,000 apiece. This is all through Sourcewell, correct? And $7,000 for each of them for a plow, with a $38,000 trade-in on that part of the transaction. That gets you the 2 pickup trucks. Is that correct? That's correct, Sourcewell?
I won't lie to the town, I don't know if the dealership, because everybody is sticker price, it's just where all the towns have been going is Auto Saver Ford. So the plows, the dump eyes, everything there, yes, absolutely is Sourcewell. They gave us a government discount, which isn't a ton, but it's better than no dollars on the trucks themselves.
Are you purchasing through Sourcewell?
No.
Oh, then we got a big problem.
Nobody's purchasing through Sourcewell on trucks.
I thought leases don't need to have 3 bids.
Leases are still subject to the bidding
I mean, then let's
requirements.
just wait, I'm not.
I would wait and verify that you're doing everything the right way.
Okay, so we're gonna table this one for, till the October meeting?
Well, you don't have to table it because there's no.
Well, not table it, but you know what I mean, we're not gonna
Yeah,
act
you're
on
gonna
this
deal with it
tonight.
again in October. Yep.
Okay, we also have a request from the Grafton Baptist Church to use the town park on the 21st, October 21st. I'd like
Correct.
to make a motion to allow for that.
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Shane.
Councilman Baldry,
Yes.
Councilman Shane,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Dunham.
Yes. All right, I think that covers for the motions that we had.
How about the senior center?
We didn't do the wine and cheese.
Didn't we?
No.
I thought we did that first.
No.
Okay. No, the budget members. Okay. All right. We have a request from the Historical Society to use the Everett Wager Senior Center on Saturday, October 21st, for their annual fundraiser. I would like to make a motion that we allow them to do that. May I have a second? Second by Councilman Hoyt.
Councilman Baldry,
Yes.
Councilman Shane,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Dunham.
Yes. Okay. Now moving on to resolutions. We have the resolution number 62 of 2023 is opposition to Senate Bill S00139B. And that was put forth by Councilman Lewandowski, so I'm going to ask him to please read it.
All right. Whereas New York State Bill number S-00139B has been passed, which if adopted by New York State Assembly and signed by the governor would require.
May I make a suggestion, Madam Supervisor?
Sure.
What we do a lot of other places is, when it's all typed up so nice like this, we say, I hereby move Resolution 62 of 2023 as printed. Otherwise, there's 2 pages of a lot of stuff. And you've had a long meeting, so it's up to you. Do you want to make the motion to adopt this as printed?
As printed,
Do
absolutely.
you have a second?
I'll second.
Who was the first?
No.
He's first.
Okay.
Second. Now we're going to do a poll vote.
Yeah, how does the public know what it says, huh?
By the way, this is an urging resolution, basically opposing making it mandatory that all justices of the peace be lawyers with 5 years' experience.
Thank you.
Councilman Baldry,
Yes.
Councilman Shane.
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Dunham.
Yes. All right. And then the next one we have is
Thank you, Phil.
resolution number 6. Yes, thanks, Phil. Resolution number 63 of 2023 regarding the town hall furnace, also put forth by Councilman Lewandowski, so I'll have him read it.
Authorizing the town supervisor to execute and accept the attached quote for propane burner update, which was obtained per the requirements of the town procurement policy for the town hall furnace from Bauer. I'd like to make a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Since the attached quote, they can't see it, do you want to just read out how much that was? Was it $2,800?
Right, $2,800.
So it's basically to buy that piece for the furnace from Bauer's for $2,800.
Right, to connect up to our propane tank.
Yeah, I just have to pick up. Switch it.
Motion is duly made. Did you get a second?
Yes.
Steve seconded.
Councilman Baldry,
Yes.
Councilman Shane.
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
and Supervisor Dunham.
Yes. All right. And I have resolution 64 of 2023, a resolution declaring the month of September in Grafton, New York as a month of remembrance, again put forth by Councilman Lewandowski.
Whereas each year marks the This year marks the 22nd anniversary of September 11, 2001, when 4 U.S. planes hijacked by terrorists crashed into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and the field in Pennsylvania, killing nearly 300 people in a matter of hours. Whereas it is important that these horrific acts are never forgotten, but more importantly, that it's vital that America's ability to unite so quickly afterwards in order to aid and comfort those hurting is forever remembered. And whereas when these dreadful attacks took place, many valiant people from across the nation, including many in Grafton, rushed to help assistance and comfort, which include firefighters, police officers, ambulance crews, emergency service dispatchers, doctors, nurses, emergency service workers, and ordinary citizens. And whereas in honor of the 21st anniversary of September 11th attacks, it is our duty as a nation and country to promise to always keep in memory the legacy of those who have died and those who have suffered. And whereas our nation has only become stronger and more patriotic since the attacks, it is important that we continue to show our patriotism and appreciation for the brave men and women who are overseas now, and therefore be it resolved that the Town of Grafton Board hereby pause in its deliberations for the moment of silence to honor the many victims of the terrorist attack of September 11, 2001, and it be further resolved that the Town of Grafton hereby declare the month of September in Grafton as a month of remembrance to pay tribute to the outstanding sacrifice and service these men and women provide to our communities in time of personal, community, and national tragedy, disaster, and mishap. I'd like to make a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Councilman Moudry,
Yes.
Councilman DeShane,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn.
Yes.
So we can just take a moment of silence now. Thank you.
All right, we have, the next motion is to pay the bills as audited. This is vouchers number 357 through 388 for a total of $74,192.67. I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills as audited. I need a second.
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilman Lewandowski.
Councilman Moudry,
Yes.
Councilman DeShane,
Yes.
Councilman Hoyt,
Yes.
Councilman Lewandowski,
Yes.
Supervisor Dunn.
Yes. All right, at this point, we're going to adjourn this meeting and go into an executive session. It's not going to be very long, but when we come back out, we're going to be just adjourning in memory of Wilfred H. Bolin III and the 2,977 souls who perished 22 years ago today in the attacks of September 11th, 2011, or 2001, I'm sorry. Right? Yep, make a motion to adjourn. May I have a second?
No.
What?
She's making a motion to go into executive session
Yeah.
for purposes of, is it budgetary personnel contract? What's the basis?
Let's go with budgetary.
Budgetary.
For this one. Okay. Let's go with budgetary.
Does she have a second?
We have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay. And I think it's not going to be long.
You know the time, right?
Yes, sir.